Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Night of Champions 2026 predictions video. We have all the matches aligned. Now, obviously, Friday Night SmackDown is tomorrow at the time I'm recording this. Today is a Thursday, but either way, we're going to go over the matches that are already on the card. We're going to give our full predictions, and we're going to go a little bit in depth of how this match came to be, where we think we're going after this match, and what the storylines are looking like. So, let's go ahead and head over. We have Night of Champions. It's looking like a really good PLE. I'm super excited to see where it takes us, honestly. We're coming off a little bit of a hump in pro wrestling in general. I think that for a while, including with myself, I was kind of getting stale of the product. And that was including every single company. That was including TNA, AEW, WWE, the Indies. Everything just became boring to me. I don't know what it was. And I think that every wrestling fan experienced that unless you're a content creator, because obviously you need to create content to get your money. But if you don't make money from content like me, then you just do it because you love it. But obviously, y'all know, I took a break. I took a step back because I looked at the product and I realized that, hey, the product is clearly not in a good enough spot to be making videos that people aren't going to want to see because nobody's interested in the product, so why would they be interested in videos about the product? But now we're back because the product is better. The product is watchable again, and I think that the product has become better since I left it. So, I'm super happy to be back. Obviously, I was keeping up with everything that was going on while I was obviously taking a little bit of a break, but I was keeping up with everything that was going on. Everything looked really good to me, and it became from worse to peak, honestly. Things have become peak in WWE, and same with AEW. Both shows and both brands are putting on absolute bangers across every single company right now. I think TNA still needs a little bit of work, but as far as AEW and WWE goes, I think that it is an absolute beauty what they are doing. So, without further ado, let's hop into our first match, which is Trick Williams versus Ricky Saints. I am, like, honestly, over the moon excited about this match. I think that this match is going to be a good one. Now, we know Ricky Saints came to SmackDown and has been looking to make an impact on SmackDown for a hot minute now. We've seen him on SmackDown for a good bit, and he hasn't made that impact we were all looking for. And I hate to say it, but I think WWE could have definitely done something better here besides having Ricky Saints face Trick Williams, unless we're looking to have Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes at SummerSlam. That's where I would be like, hey, I understand this. But at a high marquee show like this, you're coming off a bounce back from a little bit of a hump in WWE. I would love nothing more than to see Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams duke it out. Because we haven't seen that for the U.S. title yet. We haven't seen Melo get what he deserves, get what he wants. And we still know Melo wants the shot. But the fact that WWE put him under the mud like that, I don't know how much I like that. They had Carmelo and Ricky come against each other for the next title shot, for the number one contender spot, and whoever won that would go and face Trick at Night of Champions. Obviously, Ricky Saints would win that, but I think it's just super weird how it happened. Because Carmelo obviously hits the exposed turnbuckle. Ricky pulling out a little bit of a heel side, and I love that out of Ricky because that's what he was doing in NXT before he came to SmackDown. So the fact that we get to see that out of him on the main roster, really love that. And so now he's going to face Trick Williams at Night of Champions. It's going to be an absolutely beautiful matchup, but do we really just think that Carmelo Hayes is not going to get involved here? There's going to be some involvement of Carmelo Hayes, and I think we all know the answer who's winning this one. We don't really need to speak on it a lot, but we do because it's such a high marquee match. But obviously, Trick Williams is winning this match. There's no way he doesn't. He wins the title at WrestleMania 42 away from Sami Zayn. Absolutely beautiful match, beautiful storyline from them too. Especially the gingerbread man part, I wasn't too big of a fan of. But seeing Trick Williams do his thing with the U.S. title, I've been really intrigued in this reign. I've been intrigued with his and Liv's reign the most because they've just been absolutely killing it on their respective brands. But overall, we all know who's going to win here. Trick Williams is beating Ricky Saints, and it's honestly by a long shot. But I think, yeah, Carmelo Hayes is definitely getting involved here. There's just no way he doesn't. But, yeah, Trick Williams, by far for me. I think that's just an automatic 1-0 there. I think I'm obviously getting that one right. There's just no shot Ricky wins in my book. Now, would I like to see it? Sure. I think there just needs to be a little bit more character work, and we need to know his real motive, which he has said is this U.S. title. But we need to see how far he needs to go to win this title. And I want to see him push his limits in this match. I wanted to see him do something that we haven't never seen him do on the main roster. This is easily the biggest match of his career on the main roster. So he needs to prove that he belongs here. He needs to prove that he is one of the top guys in the mid-card division. And he can do that by attempting or putting up a good fight against the U.S. champion, Trick Williams, which I'm really intrigued to see. The next match, we have something that I'm not too happy about, honestly. I saw this was announced, and I didn't get too over the moon excited, just because we've seen this before. You know what I mean? We've seen this before, obviously for a different championship, that Women's Undisputed Championship, which now is held by Rhea Ripley, and we have a lot to talk about Rhea Ripley for, because we know Jade. She's coming off a loss to Rhea Ripley 2 times. Obviously at Backlash or at WrestleMania 42, and then at Backlash whenever she got a rematch due to a Charlotte Flair interference. But this is super interesting to me because WWE felt the need to say, hey, we're going through a little bit of a hump. The fans aren't really enjoying the product, so let's throw something in their face that they already didn't enjoy whenever it was here last time. I thought personally that was a bit interesting and a little bit of a weird decision just because I didn't really enjoy this feud too much. Now, obviously, their match at SummerSlam 2025 I thought was absolutely spectacular. It was one of the best women's matches we've seen in a good while, and it was a good refresher to let us know how good the women's division really is, and these two put on an absolute banger at SummerSlam last year. But either way, I think it's still something we need to keep an eye on because this match could be match of the night. Just saying. Now, we have Iyo versus Liv on the card, so that's going to be hard to top. But I know these two women are capable of it. They're definitely capable of it. Liv and Iyo, really good competitors. Women of the year, honestly. Best women's wrestlers of the year in my book so far. And Tiffany and Jade are close runner-ups. So they definitely need to do their thing in this match. But as far as who I see winning is honestly a bit tricky. Because you have Jade. She's coming off an Undisputed Championship loss and a rematch, which she also lost, so she needs that confidence booster once again, and winning this championship could be that for her. But I think that I don't think it's time, man. I don't think it's time. I think that overall we're going to be able to see Tiffany Stratton retain this championship. She's a really good champion, and I wouldn't say she's a really good champion, or they haven't done good things with her with the championship. She's a really good wrestler. She's really good on the mic. She's a really good performer. And with the championship, it gives her that extra confidence to go out there and perform better. And we all know this, and I'm going to say this now. Whenever Tiffany Stratton did not have a championship, you could see the lack of performance out of Tiffany Stratton, and that's what I didn't like. I loved whenever we saw real performance out of Tiffany. We saw Tiffany give it her all, and whenever she didn't have the Undisputed Championship, she looked like a lackluster she had lackluster performances week in and week out. I didn't enjoy her performances whenever she wasn't champion. Based on whenever she was champion, obviously it would be really easy to get discouraged as a superstar if you don't have a championship and then you go to not having a championship for a little bit of a stretch. But now she's got a championship. WWE noticed the same thing we noticed as fans, and they said she needs that. So I think they're going to keep looking into that. As much as BFAB and Meechin want to get involved, I don't think that really matters. Chelsea Green's by her side, obviously, and I think that it is very simple, to me at least. This is the Tiffany Stratton era for this Undisputed Champion, or for this United States Championship, and I think that this one goes to Tiffany Stratton. I think that so far we have Tiffany winning, and I think that obviously, based on how Friday Night SmackDown goes tomorrow, that my opinion could obviously slightly change, but I don't see it changing a good bit. I think that it stays just what it is. I think that Tiffany is the obvious answer here. As much as I would love to see Jade get a title back, I didn't enjoy her reign as Undisputed Women's Championship with the Women's Undisputed Championship, so I don't think it would be any better with the United States Championship, because I think that is one of the most looked at championships since Julia and Chelsea Green made it relevant, because we were seeing good title reigns out of them two women, especially from Zelina Vega as well. So I think that with Tiffany holding it, you're going to get certified bangers week in and week out if you have her hold that. And I think with Jade, you just won't get that. And That's just the simple fact because she has a faction, and no match, whenever people have a faction, it's going to be marquee and it's going to be something to watch just because factions are always going to get involved in the end, and you know that. But with a superstar like Tiffany, straight up 1v1, she don't have anybody on her side that would come and help her whenever she's in distress, unless it is Chelsea Green and dealing with these girls in Jade's faction. So I think this is easily Tiffany Stratton's match. Then we see a match that I was actually really excited to see announced, and that is Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins in a steel cage. This is going to be an awesome match. And we know Braun cost Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 42 in his match with Gunther, and that was something that we knew it was going to happen, but it was cool to see where they were going with it. And then we see Braun and Seth get their first match after Braun cost Rollins. Braun would win that first singles match, and at Backlash, he would defeat Seth with help from Paul Heyman and interference from the Vision as well. But I love this mainly, and I will touch on a little bit of Street Profits here. Obviously, they did win the Tag Team Championships away from the Vision, but I found it really cool how WWE found a way to make that simple plain line, that, hey, the Street Profits aren't here to help Seth Rollins, but they're more here to take care of the Vision, and I'm glad that's something WWE addressed, because if they wouldn't have addressed that, we would have all been thinking of Rollins making another faction, and potentially more dangerous than the one that he has formerly made. So I think that WWE did a beautiful job building all that up, and I think that now it's going to be really interesting. I think that Braun's obviously coming into this match a little bit of a Debbie Downer because he just lost the championships, and do I think that WWE can do Braun dirty again? I just don't know. So here, it's a little bit of a 50-50 shot for me, but I'm going to go ahead and say Seth Rollins wins this match. Obviously, the Vision, the main motive for a steel cage is so the Vision cannot get involved, and I think that Rollins will get it done here and do it however he needs to, whether that's the Street Profits getting involved or that it's just straight up Rollins beating Braun in the best way possible, getting that 1-2-3 count and not doing it dirty. But I'm sure there's going to be some dirty tactics there because Rollins is going to have to do everything he can to beat this absolute powerhouse in Braun Breaker. So it's going to be really interesting to see how he does it. But either way, the Vision cost Seth Rollins in his King of the Ring first round Fatal 4-Way, and that was something I was really intrigued by because Jey would obviously win that match, and now he went to the semifinals. Now he's in the finals facing Oba the Ruler. So Seth ended up challenging Braun to the steel cage match. The challenger normally loses. We're going to change the odds here. I have Rollins winning this, honestly. I think that it would be good for Rollins, bad for Braun, though. I think that they're definitely going to have to do something with Braun after this. And whoever loses, man, it's going to be hard to get them back to the position they were in just because this is going to be such a huge loss unless we have some big interference where Rollins just really can't do anything by himself, which is what we've seen in the past out of Rollins. He's been in multiple positions where he just can't do anything by himself. But either way, man, I'm really looking forward to this match, and I think that I got Rollins in that one. Next up, the Men's King of the Ring Finals. This is to go on to face Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, and it is Oba versus Jey Uso. This is going to be beautiful, fellas. This is going to be a literal work of art. I think that, you still see those comments and those posts every now and then. Oh, Jey can't wrestle, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Guys, if you've been watching WWE over the past couple of months, you've been seeing what WWE's doing with Jey ever since WrestleMania 42, you'll notice that this ain't the same Jey we seen a year ago. This ain't the same Jey we seen 2 years ago. This is 2020 Jey Uso. This is the Jey Uso that Roman said jump, Jey jumps. This is the same guy that practically retired Daniel Bryan. This is the same guy that made Daniel Bryan switch ships. This is the same guy who would go out and attack anybody he needed to. This is the same guy who put absolute stars on the shelf whenever they still considered him mid-card. This is the Jey Uso we're going to be seeing. And shout out to WWE again. We've said this multiple times this video already, but I mean truly, you look at it on paper, it doesn't look that good. You look at it here, it looks beautiful. You watch the shows week in and week out, it looks beautiful. How WWE just absolutely flipped the script. Made Jey look like an absolute real contender to Oba Femi. And Oba, obviously, I think is going to get this one done. That's just my personal opinion. Just because I think that no way Oba loses to Brock and then doesn't get it done against Jey. And even there's high stakes in the men's and women's finals because Iyo wins, she goes and faces her best friend, Rhea Ripley. If Jey wins, he goes and faces his cousin, which might cause some controversy in the family. But Oba's just a threat. Oba called this after WrestleMania 42 in the press conference. He said that I'm coming for Roman. I'm not going for anything else. Obviously, he thought that him and Brock was done. But Brock said, no, I'm not retired. I never said I was retired. I came back and beat you at Backlash. Oba's going to say, okay, well, I'll just beat Jey, go beat Roman, and then we'll figure out where it goes, which is going to be interesting because if Oba wins here, that's going to mean that in some form or way, Brock Lesnar's going to be tied to Roman Reigns because Oba's going to be facing Roman, so I would not be surprised if Brock gets involved. And I think that's what they're waiting for. But we will go through all the people that these two men had to go through to get here. Jey obviously had to defeat LA Knight, Royce Keys, and Finn Balor in his first round fatal four-way, and then in the semifinals he had to defeat Javon Evans, which was an absolute banger of a match. But the fact that Jey had a harder match than Oba, I think, is a bit weird. We've seen Oba have to face Penta, Solo, and Carmelo. I think that's a weak match compared to LA Knight, Royce Keys, and Finn Balor. Those are top guys right now, and we get to see Penta, Solo, and Carmelo. A little bit of a cakewalk for Oba. And then in the semifinal, Dominic Mysterio. He ran through all four of those men, and what did we expect? That's exactly what we expected. And same with Jey. I think we all knew this was kind of going to be what we were expecting, unless I kind of had a little bit of thought in my mind that we were going to see a little bit of Royce Keys, but I still, whenever this Fatal 4-Way was happening, Jey was still the guy. You know what I mean? We all expected this final, but I think it comes down to Oba, man. I think Oba wins this one, but either way, going to be an absolute beautiful match. My match of the night's up next. Liv Morgan, women's champion, versus Iyo Sky. Liv's making history here. Liv is the first active women's world champion to ever get to the finals of the women's to the Queen of the Ring, pretty much the Queen of the Ring finals, and she's facing Iyo Sky. And guys, the fact that this is like huge, this is huge because we get to see the woman that people that WWE in general and captions on screen from Michael Cole. Everyone's saying Iyo Sky is Women's Wrestler of the Year. They're saying she's the best in the world right now. But we're forgetting about how good Liv Morgan is. Liv Morgan, in my opinion, is top 3 women's wrestler of all time. My opinion. She can do everything. She puts on banger matches every time she goes out there. She's one of the best on the mic. She has the best characters, and she pulls out characters of other people that we've never seen before. She pushes people over their limits like we've never seen a women's superstar do before, and I think that's what makes her so good. And we'll go over who these two women had to get through. Iyo Sky had to get through Roxanne Perez, Julia, and Lash Legend, and in the semifinals had to defeat Raquel Rodriguez. She had to knock down towers to get to these finals. Liv Morgan had to defeat Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, and Chelsea Green, and in the semifinals had to defeat Charlotte Flair. These two women fought through every battle they had, like literally. Liv Morgan's match is insane. Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, and Chelsea Green, look at that on paper. And then having to face Charlotte Flair? Holy cow. Liv Morgan is looking like a threat, which I'm so glad they did this. Once again, props to WWE because they put her against good people so she would look like a dominant threat because she's the champion. We know Liv Morgan's goal here. She's looking to win so that she can go and face Rhea Ripley, and I think that is just humongous and a huge thing because Liv versus Rhea is something that we've been wanting to see ran back for a while now, and we might actually be able to see it. I don't think so, though. As much as I would love to see it, I don't think so. I think Iyo Sky's winning this one. That's going to put Rhea and Io's friendship in a really weird spot, but I think it's going to have to happen. Iyo versus Rhea, I think, is going to happen at SummerSlam, and I'm super excited to see it happen. But yeah, that's my ultimate prediction for this match. Guys, 5-star match incoming, I feel. I feel that this is a 5-star match in the making. This is going to be absolutely beautiful. This PLE in general is going to be beautiful. But the last match on the card, we have Cody Rhodes, Gunther, and Sami Zayn for the Undisputed Championship in a triple threat in the main event of Night of Champions. And let's run down everything of the storyline. Gunther challenged Cody to a match at Clash in Italy. Cody would win, But due to the ref not being able to see that Gunther's foot was under the rope, that caused Cody to win. Then, Gunther was granted a rematch where Sami Zayn would be special guest referee because Gunther thought that if Sami was special guest referee, he would try to screw over Cody because of his thoughts on Cody, of course, and how he thinks that Cody is the golden boy of WWE and how he thinks that he's the last good guy left. So he thought that he would screw over Cody so that Gunther could win the title. That ended up not going well. Gunther would end up powerbombing Sami Zayn. We would end up seeing Cody retain, and that would literally just like cause a whole bunch of havoc. So then it would force Nick Aldis to make this a triple threat match, which is what we're going to be seeing in Night of Champions. Who could walk out with this title? Is it time for Cody Rhodes to go on another fall off? Guys, is it that time? Or will Sami and Gunther be too focused on absolutely obliterating each other that we'll be able to see Cody just run through them again? I don't know. This one's probably like my most tricky prediction of the night, for sure. I think that it's so possible for Cody to retain here. So possible. But then you got a guy like Gunther, man. Defeated Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. Absolutely ran through Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, to be exact. And retired John Cena. Retired Goldberg. Retired AJ Styles. This man is literally the career killer. I don't think Sami Zayn can win this, personally. But, I mean, we've seen WrestleMania 40. He knocked off Gunther, so that just tells us that Sami's capable of winning against Gunther. But can he beat Cody? I don't know. I think the safe answer here, for me at least, is going to have Cody winning this match. That's going to be my locked-in prediction. Obviously, Friday Night SmackDown might tweak a little bit of my decision. If I change it, I'll let you guys know on Instagram. But I'm going to go with Cody Rhodes here. Overall, guys, this Night of Champions card just looks beautiful. I don't even know how to describe or explain how beautiful this card is looking. Just take a look at the card we have and tell me that it isn't going to be an absolute blockbuster PLE. It's going to be something to watch for sure. I'm super excited for it. Let me know down below what you guys think about my predictions. Let me know down below, and I will see y'all boys in the next one. Deuces, deuces.